you have a vision, you are motivated, you believe in something, and everything inside you drives for it and goes for it, and you're going to make it happen.
Milan, welcome. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you for having me, Brandon. Great to be here.
So, Milan, to start this off, can you just tell us a bit about your Hedera journey and some of the things that you've built to this point?
Absolutely. So I think it started about a little bit less than 4 years ago, and it was around the whole blockchain hype, and you saw it everywhere. And I was very skeptic because people were talking about these real world use cases and how it will change the world. And I was looking at the blockchains and what their selling points will be then, and I was like, it doesn't make any sense. I don't see it applied in real world use cases. And then somebody told me, well, take a look at Hedera. And then I was like, okay, now I can see it, right? This is how it makes sense. It makes sense to have fees pegged to the dollar. I only know Hedera that does that. I mean, it's completely non-speculative, which I kind of liked, but it makes sense in the business aspect. It makes sense. The finality is so quick, like less than 5 seconds, secure. So that's kind of when I started thinking, okay, now I can see it's applied into real world use cases. So initially, I really started just learning a lot about Hedera. And then over the years, I became involved with several projects. Initially with GoMint, for example, as one of the first NFT marketplace on Hedera. That was in 2021. And then I kind of also wanted to develop on Hedera. That's kind of what I really wanted to do. My username was also Hedera Dev, but I was not at all a developer. So I found my way in no code, really by making like complex workflows, and that was really cool. Yeah, so then I became more involved with, or became team member of Earthlings, which is a gaming metaverse built on Hedera. I've built my an M building, obviously, is its continuous work, a honey traceability system on Hedera, and also very much involved as one of the leaders of the HBAR Foundry, which is a group of builders on Hedera. Yeah, so since the beginning of this year, I really started to dive into coding. So I learned myself to code, and well, I mean, I built this payment system, which is pretty cool.
Well, we're going to get into that here in just a minute, but let's not forget about some of your past hackathon experiences. You had GeoTap as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that was really fun to make. I mean, that's a year ago. GeoTap, which I later renamed to Tapo. How it worked is with your phone, you could collect NFTs and you could place them all over the world because I would use NFC tags that you can place, but they have a special verification within them. So they have their own private key as well. And you can't copy them. You can't cheat with it. It was really exciting to build that. It became kind of like a proof of presence concept. And that's another example of how I really love turning the intangible into tangible, right? What we're all talking about and think, okay, this is why blockchain is being why blockchain was invented. Look at all these possibilities. Those airy thoughts, I like to make them in concrete, tangible solutions that instead of 1% of the people that follow those train of thoughts of the potential, that actually the rest of the 99% of people also think, oh, now I get it. Yeah, that's how I totally would use it. I can start using it today.
And we're going to go on to your latest hackathon entry. It's a payment system. You already mentioned it, Nomid. It's getting all kinds of attention across social media and elsewhere. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So first, how did I came at that idea? I mean, when the hackathon started, it's the end of July. Then you kind of have 4 weeks to build something. You really have to start at that moment. You are allowed to ideate on what you're going to build, but I wasn't even that far, right? I was just like, oh, I want to do something with NFCs again, because NFC is always a nice bridge between the intangible to the tangible. So the first 2 weeks was actually trying to crack some stuff that I couldn't figure out with NFC. So that's the first 2 weeks that I worked on that. And then I started thinking, okay, well, the finish line is there 2 weeks. I don't have anything yet. And I thought, okay, so how, again, going back to how people start using something, how they would be able to leverage the benefits of Hedera. How do you apply that onto an existing system that everybody's using by providing added benefits, by providing added value? Because it doesn't make any sense to build something just because you have used it. I mean, yeah, but we use blockchain. Yeah, but what's the added benefit? So that's kind of where I thought, okay, but we're all used to pay with credit cards nowadays with your phone, right? You tap and you pay. We are used to that. So mimic that system and then apply the layer of Hedera on top of it, providing its benefits. And what's the biggest benefits? Well, first of all, why can you do that with Hedera? Is because it's fast and secure. And then obviously the fees are pegged in dollars. So you know what you're going to pay as a company. And it's quick and it's cheap. So instead of like 2 to 3% fees that you pay normally in a card transaction, you pay 1/5 of a cent and the whole payment is complete. So I've now given you like the whole thing in reverse, because I now started talking about how I came with it. But what is it? So Nomid is a, I would say, peer-to-peer payment system, really focused on providing it from start to end point. So while mimicking our existing habits. So what does it mean? In short, you will have, I need to grab the device now. You will have like this is the payment system that I created. This is the terminal. You will start with the terminal, putting in the amount that you have to pay. You tap to identify so that the transaction is created. And then you get a confirmation on your phone, you approve it, and then the payment is complete, which means that you have paid in a stable coin. Because right now I've used USDC because everybody knows it, but you can use any stable coin or any token for that matter. You've created a instant payment, a settlement between you buying an ice cream and the vendor, the ice cream seller, getting the payment instantly. So while also already paying for the fees to Nomid, where it's really a fraction of the fees that they would normally pay with any other traditional system. It's completely mimicked of our current habits and instant secure payment.
The reason why this is so important is under the previous system, the credit card system that we currently use over the internet and for everything, it's all a credit system. It's a credit card because the processing of that, the actual settlement, takes days. And who's taking the risk in between that? It's the credit card company that takes the risk. If there's some kind of an issue, they're the ones that are going to have to cover it. And for that, and for VisaNet, for the entire system, they take 3 to 5% or whatever it is. I know, I think the average is actually 1.6%, but it can be really significant. And who's shouldering that? It's the vendors, it's the retailers, which of course passes on that cost to you. But with this, we cut that down to the cost of a transaction on Hedera. And if these are tokens created on Hedera, it's only 1/10 of a cent. So this is great for not just the users, but it's also great for the retailer. Also, we cut out that middleman. It's fantastic all around. The only thing that's missing is for the Hedera ecosystem to have a quick on and off ramp, being able to get into USDC and out of USDC into your bank account. Now, that's pretty easy generally. If Coinbase were to support it, we'd be able to get on and off very easily, but we don't have that quite yet. So that's the last piece of the puzzle that's missing. But I'm really impressed with what I've seen come out of this so far. But I do want to broaden this out a bit. You've built another great use case on Hedera. It just needs a few little pieces to finish that entire picture. But I've also heard you talk about intrinsic motivation, and I'd like you to explain why you think that's important for the Hedera ecosystem.
Yeah. Thank you for that question, Brandon. And I love the intrinsic motivation topic because it's pure gold, right? And I think as leaders, if you are able to recognize that, you have a once in a lifetime opportunity, because intrinsic motivation, if it's not nurtured, if it's not taken care of, if it's not recognized, it dies off. I mean, that's just it's just how it is. And so if you compare intrinsic motivation with extrinsic motivation, you kind of do the job. You get paid to do the job, depending where you work, obviously, but just do the job, and then you kind of go, okay, I'm fine. Now with intrinsic motivation, at least how I experienced it personally, is that you have a vision, you are motivated, you believe in something, and everything inside you drives for it and goes for it, and you're gonna make it happen, right? There's no limit. There's no limit in time. You just wake up early in the morning and keep on going till late night because this is something you believe in, and you're going to make it happen. Now we have a lot of intrinsic motivated people within the Hedera ecosystem, and within the Hedera community, I should say. Now these people, again, I'm going to say it again, they are pure gold, right? And they provide constant value to Hedera as a network, and they go far and beyond to anything else you could expect from anybody, right? I think it's intrinsic motivation that creates new opportunities, um, drives innovation, creates the real gems out there. I mean, I built this system in 2 weeks, which is just because I like doing it. I see it in front of me as I'm going to make it happen, right? It's just no other way. I'm going to do it, and there's no one who's paying me for it or telling me to do it. It's just because I'm going to do it. And as leadership within the ecosystem, I think there are many opportunities to harness that intrinsic motivation. I think those people that have that inner drive are also willing to contribute and to go further and to help Hedera to get to the next level, multiple levels. I would say. I mean, we're not talking about one level; we're talking about skyrocketing. There's like this whole group of amazing people that can absolutely push it far and beyond. And for me, to the leadership, I would say they are there, they're ready, harness that, and we'll get it far and beyond.
Well, that's one of the things. I think I'm probably one of those kind of people. It doesn't necessarily have to be builders coming out with products. It can also be people that are creating content. There's all kinds of different intrinsically motivated people that are just willing to do the job, even if they're not getting paid. We certainly want these people to be compensated in some way if it's at all possible. But that's the thing. Like I would love doing this job regardless. The only reason why I need a paycheck is because, of course, I have to support my family and so forth. But I just enjoy doing it. I love waking up, being able to talk to people like you, seeing the progress we can make in the Hedera ecosystem, and realizing the potential of the Hedera ecosystem. We know that potential's there. We have the tech. We have, a lot of the frameworks that we need. Now we have a lot of the infrastructure that we need. We just need to realize that potential, and it's people that are intrinsically motivated that are going to get us there. It's also not necessarily just people that are in the community doing these things for free. There are people that are employees at Hashgraph, at the HBAR Foundation, within these different entities that have that intrinsic motivation. They just wake up and they want to do great for the Hedera ecosystem. But we just need to identify those people and empower them to do as much as they possibly can, because they're going to do it anyway. But I think this is a great point. You've brought it up over and over again, Milan, and I think it's something that really needs to be hammered home. But I want to get back to you personally one more time. If there's anything you could do within the Hedera ecosystem, what would it be?
Yeah. So for me, I mean, what I love doing is creating. I mean, I was kind of like inventing. I like inventing stuff to build, create, invent. Just give me like this playground, and I'll build super cool stuff. That's my thing. And then at the same time, not having to worry, obviously, about your bread and butter. But that's yeah, I'm that's definitely my kind of my wish, I would say. And But I mean, I know that's going to happen. I mean, that's just the same in a drive. I'll just work towards that. And, I'm kind of already doing that. I do a lot of stuff that I really enjoy and building and contributing. So yeah, and I'll just keep doing that. And yeah, who knows?
So you want to just continue inventing. I guess the other piece to that puzzle is teams that are interested in bringing things to market. They want those good ideas, and they're good at actually bringing them to market and getting them to something that the rest of the world can use. So I guess if there's teams out there that want some of these products that Milan is working on, I'm sure Milan would work with you guys to take them to the next level and come up with business plans and so forth. So if anybody's interested, we could certainly get you in touch with Milan.
Absolutely. I'm not. I would say I'm not. I'm not the person for a business plan. That's definitely not my thing. But definitely, if you have a problem to be solved, I prefer real world problems, tangible ones. Then I definitely reach out anytime. I mean, anybody can reach out. I mean, most people know that they can always reach me and for any question really.
Absolutely. Well, Milan, thank you so much for building on Hedera, and good luck with all your projects.
Thank you so much, Brandon.
I'm now posting these interviews of Hedera builders independently to my channel. The community, influencers, and media outlets are free to use this content to spread the word on what's being built on Hedera. Once they're all uploaded, you'll be able to go to my channel and search for whatever topic or team you're interested in to find more information. Or you'll be able to get the most recent Hedera news by watching the latest HBAR Weekly update. So check them out.